Welcome again to Rayo Breckenridge Outdoors, a fishing show specially produced for those who find adventure in the great outdoors and the sport we call fishing. Rayo Breckenridge Outdoors is brought to you in part by Iowa Rods and Reels Made for Each Other. Jim Walter Homes, building together to save you money. Muskall Insect Repellent, the original Canadian formula. Muskall, no bugs, no bites. Ranger Boats, there's nothing like a classic. Dodge Truck Division of Chrysler Corporation. Dodge trucks are Ram tough. Stay tuned. Ray will be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
Daiwa introduces the most advanced bait casting reel ever to surface. Graphite Mag Force with AutoCast. The lightweight reel that helped Larry Nixon win the Bassmasters Classic. With Daiwa's new AutoCast control that lets you cast one-handed and cover the water faster. Plus a 5.36 to 1 retrieve that's the fastest in fishing. Get Daiwa's new Mag Force with AutoCast. Get a jump on the fish.
The fish formulas have helped me tremendously with my fishing. What do other well-known fishermen think of it?
For big bass, Formula 2 is the best I've ever used. Formula 2 is the best I've ever used. It really helps you catch the big one. My smallmouth love it.
Now there are 2 new formulas that you'll sure want to use. Formula crawfish when they're feeding on crawfish, and Formula saltwater for all ocean species. The fish formulas will definitely increase your catch.
Weeds, the hiding place of some of the most sought-after game fish, and the frustration of most fishermen. But some use a secret weapon, a silver spoon that casts like a bullet and slips through the weeds with a flashing wobble that entices the fish to test the fisherman's skill. What is this spoon that fishermen call the weedless wonder? It's Johnson Silver Minnow. Next time, fish a Johnson Silver Minnow yourself and see what you've been missing.
The fish formulas have helped me tremendously with my fishing. What do other well-known fishermen think of it?
For big bass, Formula 2 is the best I've ever used. Formula 2 is the best I've ever used. It really helps you catch the big one. My smallmouth love it.
Now there are 2 new formulas that you'll sure want to use. Formula crawfish when they're feeding on crawfish, and Formula saltwater for all ocean species. The fish formulas will definitely increase your catch.
Brim aren't particular what kind of tackle you use to catch them with. A fly rod, cane pole and bobber, light spinning tackle. Just name your favorite rig and you can probably fool them with it. Today, Rayo's using a Daiwa ultralight system with 4-pound test line. How do you locate brim? Well, except when you can hear them feeding on the surface. The bluegill's whereabouts are about the hardest problem a brim angler has to solve. But this time of year, early summer, you can just bet they're on the beds. Today, Rayo is fishing one of the many emerald-colored lakes found throughout the Delta region of East Arkansas. Let's tag along and see what kind of luck he has.
There you come out there, biggest. Look at that, what a brim, moss and all. Come on up here. Looky here. He tried to go right back in. Golly. He tried to go right back in. I'm gonna put him right in here. Try to go back down in that moss bed. Out of there. Get my boat straightened up a little. Well, I'm doing some concentration now. This bed here is, although it's not solid beds, it's probably 40 or 50 yards of it. You can see when the sun gets right, You can see these beds, they extend way on out into the lake here. Come on there, little, there he is. Come up, big one. Come out of there. Look at that drag. He done crossed the boat once and trying to go back again. If that ain't something. Whoa, here. Moss and all again. I'm gonna stay off that this time. I got a little bit close. The last time, golly. Whew. Try to stay out just a little. What I'm trying to do, this water is clear. And I'm trying to stay out as far as I can off these beds, because you can't spook these brim in this clear water. The sun's shining up today like it is here. That bank slopes on a gradual slope coming out to real shallow, and there's beds out to as much as a foot deep, all the way out to 3 and 4 foot deep here. Ooh, do that again, Mr. Fish. Yeah, come on up here. Quit that going on the bow tie, boy. Come on up here. Now you know that so far I've caught all male brim. And I mentioned the beds, and that's what happens on these beds. You start catching the males. When you catch a male, be sure and fish the area out. About to get dive bombed here. Them crop dusters come in and low. Woo! He's on top of the treetops.
On bright days like this, the sun's glare usually drives brim off shallow beds, and for a while they seek cooler and darker water. They'll return during the late afternoon when shade once again finds their nests. This particular bed Rayo's trying got shade on it early, so let's see what happens.
Tractors running, crop dusters running, and I'm out here fishing. In a brim bed, you can't beat that. Can you believe that? He went around 2 stumps and me reeling this. Come on back here, boy. You're not going to try to jump, are you? Ah, yeah. Oh, I'm going to get on my spot. Got to get in a hurry. Kick it out here a little. Get up on that thing. There he is. Ooh, he's taking off for 10 buck too. Can you believe a brim would jump out of the water and run like that? He's give up now. Look at that, what markings on that pretty thing. Ah. You notice that piece of tape on my thumb? That tape's on there for a purpose. I didn't get all of my thumb out of the way from one of those fins the other day. And that's what the tape's for. And that thing pretty. Slip it right in there with them others. You see me walking easy here. I've got a little bit close to that. I can literally see that bed's in there. You know, you may be wondering why I'm putting some of these fish in the well and some of them in the box. want to take me a mess of them home. And we'll release the rest of them. Or I'll give them to somebody that wants them here, if I run on to anybody. But I always bring my ice box when I go brim fishing. I got back same place. You know, something to keep in mind when, on a bright day like this and you're fishing brim beds, I try to make as long a cast as possible. Now, this could be really important. You remember, I told you about spooking some over there on another bed a few minutes, which you can do easily. When the sun is as bright as it is now, and the water's clear, I try to make as long a cast as I can. And this really seems to help most of the time. Oh, how did I get through them beds without a hit? You know, brim is something that beds for a long time. They don't start bedding usually. Boy, there's a bunch of beds right in here. Sun's a little bright, I guess, for them. Some of your best brim fishing that we have in the Mid-South fishing is from the middle of May to the middle of June. You got about a month to a month and a half of it. When that water begins to get hot, and they'll bed all the way down to, just depends on the water clarity and the type of lake. They can bed all the way down to 4 and 5 foot deep and do in a lot of areas. Oh, come on there now. He tricked me. He knew that I wasn't going to get him. He barely touched it. Barely touched it. Going through sideways here. It turned a little. Another thing, you want to get your retrieve down, how deep you run it. You notice at times I'm running this fast, I'm fishing over moss beds out there, and I have to hold my rod tip up and reel a little bit faster than I would like to stay out of the moss. So I got me a load of it there. But try to get that retrieve at one speed where you can run the same depth, and that will help also. Oh, looky here what I got. He's in the moss. Come out of there. Come on, moss. Just go to you. He's still coming. I don't know who I've got well, I feel a fish. That ain't moss. I want to go to the fish. Now this is something that you always want to keep in mind. I don't know whether he's off, on, or what. Just keep your line tight. He's on a stick up or around it. And go to the fish. That's why it was jerking so. It's not only a... Look at that. He's around 2 of them. Look here. Uh-huh. So it paid for me to go to him. Come here, little boy. Come here. Oh, boy. He took off. Now, one like that. See, I've got a big old hand. What do you think about that? Barely can reach around that dude. Isn't that thing pretty? They're all pretty. Boy, I am sitting right in the middle of the beds. I'm about to get myself hung up here. Drop him right in there. Bait fish running everywhere. Now he was around 2 stick-ups. I just held the line tight. Get back to where I was going. I got to get off those stick-ups. I just held the line tight and went to the fish. Now that's something to keep in mind. You can work a lot of fish out that way. It's hung up. And he was not on 1 stick-up, he was on 2.
Strike King's new drop bait, the short arm spinner bait, is the most versatile lure ever. You can buzz it, slow roll it, or crank it, just like a regular spinner bait. And its Y-guard allows it to be fished virtually anywhere. But the real surprise comes when you let it fall. The extra short arm lets the newly designed blade rotate like a helicopter, creating flash and vibration like you've never seen or felt before.
The new short arm in the 3/8 and the 5/8 ounce size. The best drop bait I've ever used.
The new Beating Heart lures from Whopper Stopper, the world's only lures with a lifelike beating heart of a live critter. Fish try to kill them with vicious strikes like you just saw. The Throbber for small and medium-sized game fish. Its fluttering drives them crazy. The Dog Walker, it brings out the killer instinct in the giants like stripers and redfish. And Scrambler for those stubborn northern pike and muskie. The Beating Heart turns on the whoppers with its lifelike pulsations. The new Beating Heart lures, made only by Whopper Stopper.
Hi, I'm Roland Martin, and whether you fish for a living like I do or just weekends for fun, too much sun can be a serious problem. That's why I use Overcast 15, a new sunscreen lotion made specifically to meet the special needs of fishermen. Formulated by a fishing dermatologist, Overcast 15 provides all-day protection against sunburn, prevents windburn, resists wash-off, and is harmless to equipment. Use Overcast 15 and spend more time looking for fish, not shade.
Know why old Charlie Carl invented musk oil insect repellent? He felt sorry for us poor fishermen getting carried off by those giant Canadian mosquitoes. You are looking at some strong stuff, because musk oil is 100% DEET, the strongest repellent you can get. Original Canadian formula, musk oil stops them all. Mosquitoes, chiggers, ticks, and biting flies for up to 10 hours of bug-free fishing. So get musk oil insect repellent. No bugs, no bites, except for the fish.
Bluegills are found almost throughout the United States, and in Arkansas, their long spawning season can run from March on. They nest in colonies, with their beds sometimes so close that guarding males swim almost nose to nose. Male brim build their nest by sweeping out a basin with their tail and body. This is usually done over a hard sand or gravel bed. After this chore is completed, one or more of the female brim will move on to a bed. They can lay up to 50,000 eggs in each nest. The male then stands guard for the few days it takes for the eggs to hatch. Then after a short period, he drives the fry away from the nest to fend for themselves. Young bluegill eat plankton and small crustaceans. The bluegill's saucer-shaped body is designed to navigate through a jungle of rooted underwater vegetation. It's no wonder the ideal warm weather habitat for bluegills is lily pads. There's plenty of food clinging to the undersides of the pads, and the vertical stems offer good escape routes. The brim's stumpy body slips easily through the maze of stems, but their predators usually can't swim as fast in the thick growth.
Look, he coming here, look here, circling the boat. Can you believe that? Oh, I lost him. I got to pull out of him anyway. I want to turn. The wind has got in behind it. It's whipping a little. And follow what I'm always telling y'all. When you catch a male, go back in there a number of times. Well, I didn't get up there. I see the beds. I'm getting too close. That wind is moving at different directions. There he is. Come out of there, big one. Look out there, spinning like a top. Come out of that pad. Come out of that pad. Wow. Isn't that a pretty thing? Sound like we're about to get dive bombed again. Boy, he swallowed it. He swallowed it. Isn't that a pretty thing? You know, I think all of them are pretty. You know, I can get my line out of there. There has got to be some brim around that area. You're supposed to put that little bail right there and flip it like that.
You'll get plenty of action using light tackle like this from just about anything you hook. This next fish will really test Rayo's tackle and his skill.
He's gone now. Catfish. Woo! I can get him out of that pads. Boy, when he wants to go, he goes. That's not bad. He got my line wrapped. Ooh. Come back here, boy. Isn't that a pretty thing? I believe that I won't ever play him down to land him. How about that? Look what a fat catfish. Whoo-wee. Boy, did I ever have him. Now, that dude can give you a pull. I want to throw him in the ice box. Well, man, guess he does two of them. Boy, I don't know what. I can never get my line straightened out here or not. You know, I think ounce for ounce, brim is probably the most fattening fish that we have. And I love to brim fish. In fact, I'd a whole lot rather be brim fishing. You say driving that tractor you hear running. I'd probably rather get into a good brim bed than any type of sport fishing. I like to fish for bass, crappie, sauger, walleye, catfish, or any type of sport fishing. But to me, when you get into large male brim, when they're bedding, it's some of the finest fishing you can get into. And like I say, ounce for ounce, I think they're the fattenest fish that we have in this part of the country.
Strike King's new drop bait, the short arm spinner bait, is the most versatile lure ever. You can buzz it, slow roll it, or crank it, just like a regular spinner bait. And its Y-guard allows it to be fished virtually anywhere. But the real surprise comes when you let it fall. The extra short arm lets the newly designed blade rotate like a helicopter, creating flash and vibration like you've never seen or felt before.
The new short arm in the 3/8 and the 5/8 ounce size. The best drop bait I've ever used.
Hi, I'm Bill Norman. I want to take you on one of the greatest topwater fishing trips you've ever been on with a triple wing buzz bait. That is a fine size fish. The blade makes the difference on the triple wing buzz bait. See your dealer today.
Here's one crappie fisherman who wouldn't tie on anything but a Canyon mini jig. Rayo Breckenridge knows that Canyon quality means it's the most durable panfish lure you can find on the market. The 32nd and 16th ounce Canyon jigs are the standard panfish lures anglers have used for years. And now Canyon has a larger 1/8 and 1/4 ounce jig made especially for you bass and walleye fishermen. Just try them once and you'll see why Rayo always says
It's the best panfish lure I've ever used.
Strike King's new drop bait, the short arm spinner bait, is the most versatile lure ever. You can buzz it, slow roll it, or crank it, just like a regular spinner bait. And its Y-guard allows it to be fished virtually anywhere. But the real surprise comes when you let it fall. The extra short arm lets the newly designed blade rotate like a helicopter, creating flash and vibration like you've never seen or felt before.
The new short arm in the 3/8 and the 5/8 ounce size. The best drop bait I've ever used.
The greater value in an American truck is not a compact Ranger or S10. It's a full-sized Dodge.
We are Dodge, and this is how we build our trucks.
The 84 Dodge D100 with a full-size 6-cylinder engine and cargo capacity standard. More room for 3 full-sized adults, yet comparably equipped. It's list-priced hundreds less than Ranger or S10, and backed by the longest rust-through truck warranty in America.
We are Dodge. Dodge trucks are Ram trucks.
Rayo Breckenridge Outdoors has been brought to you in part by Daiwa Rods and Reels made for each other. Jim Walter Homes, building together to save you money. Muskall Insect Repellent, the original Canadian formula. Muskall, no bugs, no bites. Ranger Boats, there's nothing like a classic. Dodge Truck Division of Chrysler Corporation. Dodge trucks are Ram tough. We hope you've enjoyed the past half hour of fishing, and we invite you to join us again next week at this same time. Welcome again to Rayo Breckenridge Outdoors, a fishing show specially produced for those who find adventure in the great outdoors and the sport we call fishing. Rayo Breckenridge Outdoors is brought to you in part by Daiwa Rods and Reels made for each other. Jim Walter Homes, building together to save you money. Muskall Insect Repellent, the original Canadian formula. Muskall, no bugs, no bites. Ranger Boats, there's nothing like a classic. Dodge Truck Division of Chrysler Corporation. Dodge trucks are Ram tough. Stay tuned. Ray will be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
Daiwa introduces the most advanced bait casting reel ever to surface. Graphite Mag Force with AutoCast. The lightweight reel that helped Larry Nixon win the Bassmasters Classic, with Daiwa's new AutoCast control that lets you cast one-handed and cover the water faster. Plus a 5.36 to 1 retrieve that's the fastest in fishing. Get Daiwa's new MagForce with AutoCast and get a jump on the fish.
The fish formulas have helped me tremendously with my fishing. What do other well-known fishermen think of it?
For big bass, Formula 2 is the best I've ever used.
Formula 2 is the best I've ever used. It really helps you catch the big one.
My smallmouth love it.
Now there are 2 new formulas that you'll sure want to use. Formula crawfish when they're feeding on crawfish, and Formula saltwater for all ocean species. The fish formulas will definitely increase your catch.
Know why old Charlie Carl invented musk oil insect repellent? He felt sorry for us poor fishermen getting carried off by those giant Canadian mosquitoes. You are looking at some strong stuff, because musk oil is 100% DEET, the strongest repellent you can get. Original Canadian formula, musk oil stops them all: mosquitoes, chiggers, ticks, and biting flies, for up to 10 hours of bug-free fishing. So get musk oil insect repellent. No bugs, no bites, except for the fish.
The fish formulas have helped me tremendously with my fishing. What do other well-known fishermen think of it?
For big bass, Formula 2 is the best I've ever used.
Formula 2 is the best I've ever used. It really helps you catch the big one.
My smallmouth love it.
Now there are 2 new formulas that you'll sure want to use. Formula crawfish when they're feeding on crawfish, and Formula saltwater for all ocean species. The fish formulas will definitely increase your catch.
In some places, he's called calico bass or strawberry bass, speckled perch, white perch, sac-a-lait, or papermouth. But down here, he's simply called crappie. Rayo's fishing Tunica Cutoff near Memphis, a delta oxbow fed by the waters of the Mississippi River. Rayo's just about perfected a technique for fishing this thickly timbered water. If you'll hang around, Ray will be glad to show you how he uses a jig and fly rod for one of the most popular freshwater game fish in America. Popular because he's a scrappy fighter on light tackle and one of the best tasting fish you could drop into a skillet of hot grease.
Looky here. Looky here. Isn't that a pretty thing? That's kind of like catching it. Get my cord out of the ice box. What I'm doing here, I've got out in front of the lake and fishing actually in the woods. Now, most of the trees in here are willow trees. Now you can see they're very large. And ones you have seemingly the better luck out of is one that's got a lot of little limbs on them, especially that's just under the water. And these big crappie, now the river, the Mississippi River has been up for, seemed like forever, and the bottom of it finally just fell out. It's got back down to a normal stage at Memphis. The river's about 14 foot. It's not about, it is 14 foot at Memphis. And Tunica Cutoff, where I'm at here, is red hot. People are catching fish. The weather's hot, but it's nice fishing out here in these woods like this. It's shaded, and there's a tremendous amount of fishermen. There's room for everybody. I have never saw it fail. No matter how hot the weather is, when the river has been up like it has in the past, when it goes down and gets to normal stage, these crappie are going to turn on, no matter how hot the weather is. And that makes it for some wonderful crappie fishing. Big old slab crappie that you miss sometime like that. Now, out here crappie fishing, you're going to catch, well, I missed him again. And again, that must be a gar. I started to mention you catch some humongous brim out here to this time of year, really large. Striped bass, yellow bass, black bass, just about all, and it's not unusual on these jigs to catch a catfish. And like I had on there a minute ago, a gar, which I don't think nobody likes to catch. Well, I keep missing that one. But this is some of the most pleasant fishing to me. Not only is a fishing grade that comes fast and fierce most of the time, but to be able to fish out in the woods here in the shade and when the weather's extremely hot, it's mighty comfortable. Hey, looky here, got my pole under the water. Come out of there, you going around the tree. No wonder, look here. Ooh, nice calling him a gar. I really think there was a gar that was hitting it. Wow. I'm not mentioning the tree is as comfortable and whatnot as it is. Boy, look at there, what a crappie. Look there, what a crappie. It will get aggravating at times. He'll get thick, just like in any other place, and you'll hang, when you miss a fish especially, you're going to hang over your head at times. But it's worth it to be out, or it is to me, in the shade this way and just catching these large crappie. It's like, nearly like fishing in the air condition. Ooh, do that again. Most of these fish are coming about 6 foot. About 6 foot deep. Now, at times, they'll get a little bit shallow in that, and actually you catch some a little bit deeper at times. But it's right around the 6 foot level. And I'm sure that will change from day to day down here, this time of year. There's one thing, it's not like fishing like the large impoundments, a highland lakes like, say, Bull Shoals, Greer's Ferry, or a lake like that. These oxbow lakes, the game fish that I've always caught, whether it be crappie, bass, or whatever, seldom is over 10 foot deep, 10 to 12 foot deep. So that's something to keep in mind when you're fishing the oxbow type lake. Come out of there. Look at that. Look at that. He's sort of dark. When you get to, you notice how a crappie can run. I mentioned this a number of times. When you get that head out of the water, get pressure on him, he'll stop fighting right then. Isn't that a pretty thing? Look at the dark color. Boy, that little tree has been good to me. That one there probably tore it up. I'm going to ease up just a little. See what's going on these others. So usually on trees, this way you get from 1, 2, and 3, sometimes 4 and 5. Most time you're going to get one fish when you're fishing a tree or stick up like this. Hope. Those brim are beginning to float. I can see them around. I think some of them are following my little jig down. Boy. Am I glad I'm not out in that sun. It's still hot as it's getting. You know, I was talking about how high the Mississippi had got. To give you an idea, you can see the mud line on these willow trees. They're pretty far up there. Looks like from now it would be at least 20 to 25 feet, what it was a month ago and what it is now. You can see it all through the timber here, exactly where the mud line comes to. Come on out of there. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Oh, I'm hitting the trees for a rod. Easy there, Mr. Fish. Boy, he had some vinegar in him. When I first stuck that fish, he had to run out there about 20 feet. I was holding on to the little tree here, little limb, seeing right. You know, I mentioned fishing the structure this way. Where the fish are hitting for me today, now there's sure people find it different on different parts of the lake, but these fish are real tight on this structure, extremely tight, and I'm having to get close. And where I'm finding these fish, the most of them is around the willow trees that has a fine limbs, like I've got only a bunch of them that is actually under the water. You can feel them. And that helps hold those fish in there. I'm stretching it a little there. There he is. Come out of there, boy. Come out of, can you believe that? Ooh, I'll get your head out of the water and you won't do that. That's what I was talking about, a crappie running. When they get a chance now, ooh, here. They will really take off. Nice crappie. Hey, that's beginning to look like a nice fish fry in there. I wonder if I could he tore that up pretty good. It's right around the fine brush. That's where he was hanging out. And I got back, boy, he got with it. They can do it on these fly rods. Or fiberglass. It's so much fun catching these crappie or brim on a fly rod or fiberglass pole where you got a chance to move and fight. What I like to do, a lot of people ask me, how do you use a jig? Well, here's your target. You're going to throw out this tree right here in front of me. What I like to do when it's possible, throw your jig to the other side of it, and always throw on the shady side. Have the end of your rod where you want the jig to stop your line when it gets straight. When your line gets straight, jig it up and down like that, time or two. The people that's been doing this for years taught me when I was a youngster, and they said that was a proper way to do it. Have the end of your rod to where you think the fish is, then jig it up and down, swim the jig to it. When the fish is real active, you'll hit it while it's swimming. You always remember that game fish likes that the bait falling, and that's the reason they'll hit it when you jig it when it goes falling back down.
Usually the black crappie favors clear, quiet water with lots of cover. On the other hand, white crappie tend to tolerate water that has more silt. But both have similar feeding habits. They like crawfish, worms, aquatic insects, and small fish. They're both silver-colored, but the black crappie has dark, irregular splotches, while the white has almost regular bar-like vertical markings on its body. And you're more likely to find the black crappie in schools.
Strike King's new drop bait, the short-arm spinnerbait, is the most versatile lure ever. You can buzz it, slow roll it, or crank it, just like a regular spinnerbait. And its Y-guard allows it to be fished virtually anywhere. But the real surprise comes when you let it fall. The extra short arm lets the newly designed blade rotate like a helicopter, creating flash and vibration like you've never seen or felt before.
The new short arm in the 3/8 and the 5/8 ounce size. The best drop bait I've ever used.
The new Beating Heart lures from Whopper Stopper, the world's only lures with a lifelike beating heart of a live critter. Fish try to kill them with vicious strikes like you just saw. The Throbber for small and medium-sized game fish. Its fluttering drives them crazy. The Dog Walker, it brings out the killer instinct in the giants like stripers and redfish. And Scrambler for those stubborn northern pike and muskie. The Beating Heart turns on the whoppers with its lifelike pulsations. The new Beating Heart lures, made only by Whopper Stopper.
Hi, I'm Roland Martin, and whether you fish for a living like I do or just weekends for fun, too much sun can be a serious problem. That's why I use Overcast 15, a new sunscreen lotion made specifically to meet the special needs of fishermen. Formulated by a fishing dermatologist, Overcast 15 provides all-day protection against sunburn, prevents windburn, resists wash-off, and is harmless to equipment. Use Overcast 15 and spend more time looking for fish, not shade.
Know why old Charlie Carl invented musk oil insect repellent? He felt sorry for us poor fishermen getting carried off by those giant Canadian mosquitoes. You're looking at some strong stuff, because musk oil is 100% DEET, the strongest repellent you can get. Original Canadian formula, musk oil stops them all. Mosquitoes, chiggers, ticks, and biting flies for up to 10 hours of bug-free fishing. So get musk oil insect repellent. No bugs, no bites, except for the fish. Come on here. Come on out of there. Oh, he's got hung up. There he comes. Come on up here, boy. We'll get you out of there. Got the moss and all. Be still. Who did he get the moss? You know something that I hadn't mentioned? His color. You talk to 10 crappie fishermen that uses jigs here on the, and I've tried this at times. He'll say here on Tuna Cutoff, and there's more jig fishermen each year. And you'll probably get 10 different answers on the colors they like, and all of them are successful. I'm using a pink and white here, and I just happened to start with it, and I was catching fish when I started, and actually I'm staying with it. In this part of the country are in the Oxbow Lakes here throughout the Mid-South. I think pink and white, yellow and white, red and yellow. Got a little hit there, I guess it's a brim. It's a real good. Solid white is a real good color. Yeah, green and white. Anything that imitates that shad minnow or the young fry. You see young fry all in the water here of every description, really, that imitates those small bait fish is all it takes. Well, I need to find me another one of them trees like that. I know what I need, and I'm going to do it before I go to the next tree. That will make them fishes get with it. Of course, you got to feed the fish now. You can always remember that. I've got my eye on that one out there. It's got the little twigs on it. I'm floated up against something here. Ah, bait fish flipping out there. You know, that's something else about this lake and most oxbows. There is so many bait fishing them. It's absolutely unreal. You would wonder why the fish, the game fish in here, would ever eat or strike an artificial lure. This lake has literally got millions of shad minnows in it, besides all the other types. And I think that's the reason it's always got a lot of game fish. There he is. Come back here, biggin'. Can you believe that? I got your head out of the water now. You sat here do it like a bass would. One reason I'm lifting them out of the water, when I get where I can, there is brush underneath here. Boy, them crappie are running good size. That's getting to be half full. There is brush underneath here, under the water. The water's still higher than usual. So when I get a chance to get their heads out of the water, I just bring them on to me. There he is. Come out of there. Come on up out of that. Don't try to get behind a tree on me. He just absolutely filled my eyes full of water by slapping. Oh, another black one. Boy, am I going to eat tonight? You know, every time I see crappie that size, I get hungry. I don't think I ever mentioned my jig head. Most people, standard jig head, they'll use a 1/32. It's about a standard. Some of them use as light as a 1/64. And some of them as heavy as a 1/16 to a 1/8. Always like to use as light a one as I possibly could on kind of falling. Actually, you're going to get hung up more with it. But I think you get more strikes. And I'm using a 1/32 today. But I like to use as light a jig head as I possibly can use due to the wind conditions and naturally how deep you're fishing has something to do with it.
Both the black crappie and its cousin, the white, inhabit this Mississippi oxbow, and you're likely to catch either one while fishing these willow trees. You know, there's lots of folklore that surrounds crappie fishing around these parts. You're likely to hear someone say the black crappie fights harder and tastes better, or the white grows larger and is the female of the species. Whatever you want to believe about this fine game fish, it's still mighty good table fare and exciting to catch. Say, why don't you come over here sometime and give Rayo's willow tree technique a try? And if you have some folklore about old Papermouth you want to share, well, just bring that along too, and we'll add it to the mystique that surrounds crappie fishing.
Strike King's new drop bait, the short arm spinner bait, is the most versatile lure ever. You can buzz it, slow roll it, or crank it, just like a regular spinner bait. And its Y-guard allows it to be fished virtually anywhere. But the real surprise comes when you let it fall. The extra short arm lets the newly designed blade rotate like a helicopter, creating flash and vibration like you've never seen or felt before.
The new short arm in the 3/8 and the 5/8 ounce size, the best drop bait I've ever used.
Great fishing starts long before the first cast. Fill your reel with DuPont Strand, the fishing line with the amazing balanced performance. To make the most of your performance, Strand. It's strong, easy handling, smooth casting. And only Strand lets you choose the line visibility you need. You want an edge, you've got it. Strand. Great fishing starts with Strand.
Hi, I'm Bill Norman. I want to show you the best deep diving crankbait on the market today, the deep little end. There you go.
You got your meaning, didn't you?
Yeah, he said he'd be in there, and he was. He's still not ready to come in the boat, Rayo.
Oh, they got to fight him. They got a lot of it.
You too can catch the big ones on a deep little end. See your dealer today.
Strike King's new drop bait, the short arm spinner bait, is the most versatile lure ever. You can buzz it, slow roll it, or crank it, just like a regular spinner bait. And its Y guard allows it to be fished virtually anywhere. But the real surprise comes when you let it fall. The extra short arm lets the newly designed blade rotate like a helicopter, creating flash and vibration like you've never seen or felt before.
The new short arm in the 3/8 and the 5/8 ounce size. The best drop bait I've ever used.
Introducing the longest rust-through protection truck warranty in America. 5 years or 100,000 miles.
We are Dodge, and this is how we back our trucks.
Only Dodge offers this revolutionary factory warranty as standard on all 84 full-size pickups and Ram Chargers. And it's yours at no extra cost. At Dodge, we don't just say our trucks are tough, we prove it.
We are Dodge. Dodge trucks are Ram tough.
Rayo Breckenridge Outdoors has been brought to you in part by Daiwa Rods and Reels Made for Each Other. Jim Walter Homes, building together to save you money. Muskall Insect Repellent, the original Canadian formula. Muskall, no bugs, no bites. Ranger Boats, there's nothing like a classic. Dodge Truck Division of Chrysler Corporation. Dodge trucks are Ram tough. We hope you've enjoyed the past half hour of fishing, and we invite you to join us again next week at this same time.